What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back. We are back for a whole new week worth of Beyond the Gates, okay? Season 1, episodes 89 to 93, I think. Yeah, okay. I mean, like, is it 5? Is it 4? Wait, did I get it up right? But anyway, girl, yeah, we are back. And baby, honestly, I feel like this is one of the better weeks because we literally only focused on basically one thing, and that was Martin's situation. We had a couple of things here and there, but for the most part, it was just Martin's situation this whole week. And you know what? I was actually okay with it because they've been dragging this whole thing out about what exactly happened and all of this stuff that got him being so on edge. And basically he's going through PTSD. He's having nightmares, night terrors, and reliving the situation and all of this stuff, whatever. And it's like, go ahead and tell somebody what happened. And honestly, once we found out exactly what happened, because we already knew that he took somebody out, okay? That's basically what it was. He took somebody out. But at the same time, it was for just cause. Okay, listen. When I say a just cause, it was self-defense, and I don't feel bad about it. Okay, it wasn't like, because honestly, what I thought had happened was that he probably got into a car accident and he wound up, taking out the other person. And so because he's this senator or, this congressman, you don't want that on your reputation. And then you got all of this stuff with your grandfather being this famous senator and all this stuff, and political activist and everything. And or I should say civil rights activist. Yeah, that's a little bit more better. You don't want that, drama surrounding that or whatever, your name and all that stuff. So, let me just go ahead and say, get Bill down here. Y'all help clean this stuff up. And, it was a hit and run or whatever. And basically, well, not a hit and run. It was a car accident. And then 2 people got hurt in the car accident, but one of them ended up dying. And then the other one came back. That's what I thought. But no, that's not what it was. We realized later on that it has had some racism involved in it. And that made it all the more like, girl, I don't give a damn what happened to Kenneth. All right, God, I don't care, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have did what you did. You should have kept on rolling, okay? Rolling. You should have kept on rolling. All right, ain't nobody asked you to stop if you really wasn't going to help them people. But, let's just not get ahead of ourselves, okay? Well, honestly, let me just get these little things out the way. When it comes to Haley, girl, Ashley, she has to keep it professional. She really has to keep it professional. And I apply her strength. I give Ashley a lot of hell, okay? But the last couple of episodes or the last couple of weeks, I've been eyed on her, right? Just slightly. But this week, and her little interaction with Haley, she's very professional, okay? Because you have to keep your professionalism inside the job and outside the job, when you're at work and when you're out of work, because it can all, reflect back on you, and it can still affect your job. Because if it was any other circumstance and if she had any other job, I'm pretty sure Ashley would have just went on ahead and put Haley on blast. Because how dare you come up into that restaurant, that diner, talk about something, I want this, eat like a fat beach. Okay, no shade to my fatties, okay, because I'm with you, but I don't, we you know how it is, okay? You eat like you eating for 3, not 2, but 3, okay? And talk about some, and if the chef feels some type of way or whatever, just let her know that, I'm eating for 2. That's why I'm ordering all this food. Girl, the chef don't give a damn how much you order. They want you to order all of that stuff because they need the money for the restaurant. They need to keep that shit going, okay? They need to keep themselves in the black. But anyway, Ashley was sitting up at that restaurant listening like, girl, what? Now, see, Ashley is better than me. You know what I'm saying? But again, she's a nurse. Duh, that's HIPAA. all of that stuff, she can't go ahead and put that on blast because Haley, she's vindictive enough. I mean, you're with Bill, okay? So I'm pretty sure you know some little tricks and everything, so you'll probably get that lady fired if she go ahead and put her ass out there and say, listen, bitch, you up here talking about something you eating for some goddamn too. Girl, you ain't even pregnant. The ultrasound didn't even come back because you didn't even take it. Talk about something you took the ultrasound and you did this and you did that. Girl, Ashley better than me. I hate that she in this predicament, okay? And you can tell it's eating her up that she just really want to put this bitch on blast. Mind you, she already can't stand her ass at this point. And the fact that Haley, I just don't understand. Like, is Haley a little delayed or something? Because every time she tried to explain herself or justify the situation that she's in, she make it seem like she don't understand why people are upset at her, specifically Danny and Naomi. But let's just take Danny out the equation. But Naomi and Ashley at this point, y'all were good friends. Y'all were a trio, besties. They brought you into their world, okay? Y'all shared just about everything. And you came into their world, specifically Naomi's, okay? Befriended her mom, her dad, and you wound up fucking her daddy and becoming her stepmom. Breaking up her mother's relationship. You know what I'm saying? And not necessarily saying that they broke it up, because technically speaking, Bill and her is already broken up. Bill and Danny's relationship was already broken before Haley came in. Haley was just the straw that broke the camel's back. That's literally just what it was, okay? And so the fact that she cannot comprehend and understand, there is no way I'm going to be friends with you, and if I do want to be friends with you again, it's not going to happen right now, okay? I'm still pissed, bitch. Like, you really crossed a freaking line, knowing damn well, and I could say Haley would do the same. She know that she would act the same as they are, but then again, she won't, because she's so desperate for attention. She's so desperate for friendship. She's so desperate for people to be around her because she has no one. And she never had anyone. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of situation. And so, I was just like, girl, what you want to do? Okay? Like, at this point, the way Ashley was just sitting there, Ashley really wanted to just punch her in her face, okay? Because she was tired of it. She was tired of trying to make this girl see, like, girl, you were our friend. And you came in and you fucked our friend's dad. And you became, okay, I get it. Let me stop putting my thumbs up for, ooh, you know what I'm saying? You was doing all our daddy shit. You know what I'm saying? That you don't do nothing like that. And at the end of the day, you keep on saying that it just happened. And like Ashley said, even if you wasn't seeking this out, you could have stopped Bill advances. You played into him. And that's the issue. It's a two-way street. Both of y'all had y'all hands in it. Both of y'all could have stopped it. Both of y'all know that shit was wrong, okay? So, hey, that's just what it was. You went about it the wrong way. The hearts went with the heart ones, but I just don't understand why she just don't understand that shit, bitch, okay? And meanwhile, Ashley was up in that restaurant because she's just sulking. Jacob popped up and, oh, I haven't seen you much or whatever. It was like, I know, since, y'all done broke up or whatever, you chose sides and all this stuff. I said, Ashley, calm down. You know the men gonna go with the men and the women gonna go to the women. You and Naomi were besties before probably Jacob came into the picture. So of course, and plus they got that firefighter cop type of situation going on. So yeah, but at the end of the day, you broke up with him. So like, girl, it is what it is, right? But you got that whole thing going on, and that's basically all that was happening with them. Also, Danny, her modeling agency, she talking to Vanessa, getting advice and getting a little encouragement about going ahead and putting herself out there to be the head of the face of the modeling agency, to be back out there and being a model, because that's how the traction is going to pick up, because it wasn't getting no traction on social media or anything else. So let's put me back out there. That's what Pamela wanted her to do anyway. I'm gonna need Vanessa to be careful. Oh shit. Vanessa, I know you like to err on the side of danger. I get it. Sometimes taking a little bit of a risk, it's a little fun, okay? It's a little fun. Woo! Oh my God, it's an adrenaline rush. But you playing games with Joey Armstrong, and that spit or whatever the fuck it was, it went down so wrong. Okay, it's tickling, and I don't like it. Yeah, you playing games with Joey. Okay, now let me tell you something. You're gonna have to be real careful, because after a while, he ain't gonna keep on letting you talk to him any type of way. Okay, he ain't gonna let you keep on talking to him any type of way, girlfriend. I know he think, at this point it's foreplay, it's a turn on. Cause listen, I get it, bitch. Put me in my place. But when Joey said you keep on playing and you gonna find out what the fuck I'm talking about, I said, oh shit. Joey, you gonna do that to her? Because Vanessa wanted to know what the hell was you doing down here at this goddamn restaurant, at this press conference or whatever. What's going on? And now all of a sudden that is over with. Oh, so you want me here because, so you want to say if something pop up, you want to use me as an alibi, saying that you was down here just so happened to be down here with me, so that they can say, oh, you ain't had nothing to do with whatever's finna happen. And I said, you know what? One thing about it, two things for sure. Vanessa is smart as shit. And I feel like that's going to be her undoing when it comes to Joey. Joey like it at the moment, but it's going to get a little bit much for him. Okay? It's going to get a little bit much for him. But she going to talk back a little bit much. And he going to be like, pop. And she going to be like, damn. And I'm be like, shit, girl. Nicole tried to tell you have to be careful when you're playing around with these mafioso types, okay? But you know what? Sadly, I hate to say this. Because, adultery is just not, it's not right. It's not right. What we done seen earlier that happened this past week, I know y'all saw that shit that went down with that Coldplay concert. Girl, mind you, both of their asses was fucking married to other people. And they said that the lady was married to a divorce lawyer too at that. I said, oh my God. And then it's rumors that the guy at that place, the astronomer guy, the CEO, they said that his current wife, who's now about to divorce him because he was cheating with his CPO, basically he also cheated on his first wife with the current wife. And they, bitch, you lose them the way you get them. I said, oh my God, if that is true, that is so fucked up. But at the same time, I still feel bad for the bitch because, to be put out and have your whole life just destroyed publicly. I mean, it's on everywhere. All the blogs, the black blogs, the white blogs, the regular headline news and all that stuff. Girl, and then come to find out both of them got put on leave. I said, I know that's right. I want to know what happened to the co-worker who was with them. Okay, the one that was in the picture, and she was just like this. I said, yeah, bitch, you been knew about it. And like everybody was saying, everybody at the office knew about it. They knew about it, bitch. It's just that they doing something now because, listen, it done got public. All right, and technically speaking, that's probably against the policy. When you get into these certain type of corporate type of situations, yeah, you can't be commingling like that. Oh, Lord have mercy. That is embarrassing. And mind you, had they just stood there and acted like a regular couple or whatever, none of this would have happened. They could have still cheated in peace. Nobody would have put this on the internet. Nobody would have put it on TikTok. It wouldn't have circulated. Him ducking, she turned around, that girl going, girl. But I say all that to say, cheating ain't right. But I like Joey and Vanessa together. For some reason, bitch, they just fit. And she gives me mafioso wife. She gives that tease. Okay, y'all be watching the movies or whatever. She gives it to me. But hey, it is what it is, right? Okay, cool. Now let's move on to the main topic at hand. Danny and Bill did have a little sit-down conversation. Danny, we found out, even though Bill's still kind of a little pissed at Danny, he really ain't. Okay, that's his best friend. He can stop acting like it, but he know regardless, she gonna be the one that he want to talk to. She gonna be the one that, he want to come and comfort her because he already know that she gonna do it anyway. That's his bestie and everything, and just gonna make everything feel right. And every time he tried to act tough with Vernon and all that stuff, whatever, woo, 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 the fact that he sat there and admitted and it was like, he wants Vernon approval still. Till this goddamn day. And I said, I know you do. Because you ain't had a good daddy in your life. And Vernon was the only nigga that came in your life and actually made you feel like you was something. And you fucked it up. You fucked it up. Okay? There it is. Moving on from that. Now let's get to the whole meat of this goddamn week's episode. You want to know who I feel bad for? And I hate to say this. F them kids right at this moment because they getting on my goddamn nerves. All right. I feel bad for Nicole. And we'll get into why later. But I feel so bad for her because mama has been going through it. And you can say, oh yeah, Martin been going through it or whatever. But truth be told, Martin and Vernon could have told the truth about this whole situation and had it handled. Like, bitch. Everybody would have been on your side, given the fact that what happened. Because, bitch, basically, y'all went into a sundown town. That's what wound up happening. Okay, let's just get there. Let's get there, bitch, because that's what you waiting on, right? So, Martin, y'all see that video? Tisha Campbell and her son doing that. I woke up in that Bugatti. And then that shit, they try to pull her. He was like, damn, Gina. That shit was funny as fuck. But anyway, listen. The kids gotta go, okay? Terrell gotta go. Well, you know what? Honestly, put Terrell on punishment a little bit. Put him on punishment. You can either, give him 1 or 2 lines in the next coming up or whatever, or we don't see them for a little bit. But Samantha ass really gotta go. Cause that little grown girl is getting on my goddamn nerves, okay? Like, she is the one that really, and you know what? She actually kind of true to form. The kids are really just doing what the kids do, and they just irritate you. They irritate you, but they are so damn dumb. I was like, what the fuck is going on with these damn kids? They're so damn dumb. Okay? It is so irritating. It's like, damn, bitch, put 2 and 2 together. And I ain't calling them no bitches or nothing. I'm just saying it. That's general term. I don't want nobody to get offended. Okay? I'm like, put 2 and 2 together. Obviously, something very drastic and messed up is going on. Let me pay attention to what's happening. And let me just do what Daddy say. Because if he acted like this, it honestly must be a reason. We seen him freak out a little bit, but never to this magnitude. So something must really be going on that he got this happening, right? You out there in the park with this man that you don't know. You don't know if he could have picked you up and he could have, and I get it. He a stranger. He was asking for help on the phone and all that stuff. I don't do that stuff, okay? Especially when people is suspect and, he look creepy. You coming up to me with a goddamn bandage on, and I know you judging by appearances or whatever, but you still got to be aware of your surroundings, okay? This man why is that bandage on your face like that and it's halfway peeling out? Why are you looking at me like that? And why are you talking like that? You mean to tell me you couldn't go and get to the nearest coffee shop and go get your phone fixed? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is happening? I'm a little child. I'm a child. You're a grown-ass man. And I'm by myself. That don't seem suspicious to you, Samantha. I know you look older than your age, but goddamn, girl. What the freak? Okay, and when Martin pulled up and old boy was saying all that shit, basically implying, white people, especially, because that's what we're dealing with. They have a way of calling us N-words without calling us. Oh my God. Basically, he was like, and when he was talking to he was like, and her little chocolate brown skin or her little pretty brown skin and all of this. I said, oh my God, you might as well just call her a negress. Okay, like, what the freak is going on? That's when Martin had to punch his ass, okay? Because you playing games. You went from being a creep to being a pedo. Okay? You went to being a pedo. That's basically what you were trying to sound like you was going to take her and do something to her. And so for that alone, you deserve to get your shit rocked the way that you got rocked. Okay? But now you guys say, oh my God, Dad, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so they get back in the house and I'm like, oh my God, bitch, obviously it's something fucked up. And I wouldn't be questioning him. Like, after hearing what that man said, After hearing what he said, you still gonna question and be like, oh my God, Dad, why would you do that? Girl, shut the fuck up. I just saved your ass, okay? I may not give you all the pieces to the puzzle, but baby, it's some pieces there that you can start putting together, okay? 1 + 1 = 2, but at the end of the day, right about now, you can tell that 1 + 1 is almost equaling 2. It ain't finna equal all the way there. You got at least 1.5 right now, okay? Let me take that back, 1.2. You know what I'm saying? 1.2, we almost to 2, okay? She can't get that. She couldn't get that. Girl, Terrell couldn't get it either. Oh my God, Dad, why are you doing this? You did what? You did this? Smitty finds out. Oh my God. Martin. Now, Smitty, I do feel bad for him too. I do feel bad for him too. Because honestly, I'm glad that he found out about it this way instead of him finding out about it on his own. Because the way the investigation was going with him and Jacob, yeah, he was on the verge of finding the shit out on his own. And that definitely would have made things worse between him and Martin. And then I truly feel like they would have got a divorce. It wouldn't have been no separation. It wouldn't have been nothing like that. Smitty would have been like, bitch, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking done. Okay? Because I get, you could explain to me what happened, but you went about, I had to find out about it on my own. I had to go snoop, and I really wasn't trying to snoop. I was just trying to do a goddamn story on a fucking cop. You know what I'm saying? That's just really what it was. Yeah, Smitty has every right to be upset, and I understand him. And truth be told, while y'all on this little separation tip, I want you to cheat. Get that pussy bumped, okay? That's what I want. I want it for you, Smitty. You got to. You got to get that get back. Like, you know, do it for yourself. I am such a terrible person. Toxic as fuck, but I believe it. I believe it. Okay? Like, come the freak on. But, yeah. So you get that. And basically, at this point, Martin is all in his feelings. Vernon is over there being summoned by Bill and all this stuff. And he said, how dare you fucking summons me? I said, shit. You know, seeing a mad Vernon and he all in control and shit like that. I said, yeah, he used to be that nigga back in the day. I see it. You know, I used to see his shit back in the day too. You know, he aged so gracefully. Him and Anita. They was fine back in the day. They still fine now. Okay? Now, you know, some people, when they get older, they get a little bit of weight on them. And that's Anita. Anita, girlfriend, she filled out. And she filled out real nice. I said, you know, I shouldn't be looking at these people are my elders. I should respect them. But they're nice looking, okay? She's nice. You know, you got a bubble back there. You got a bubble back there. I'm going to look. But anyway, so, yeah. You got that going on. And basically, you know, he trying to tell him, like, bitch, I did like this little back and forth between Vernon and Bill because they had to establish the whole situation. It was needed. Bill had to say what he had to say because at the end of the day, as much as we can't stand Bill, what he said was true. Y'all the one that put me in y'all shit, okay? Whether I wanted to be in it or not, you put me in this. You made this my shit. You didn't ask me. You made me do this shit, okay? So now I got to be up in here. I got to clean the stuff up for your ass and for him and doing all this stuff or whatever. And you got the nerve to feel the way that you feel. You know, I understood where Bill was coming from. But at the same time, bitch, you wanted to be in it too. You wanted to be in it because you knew what came with trying to be in this family. You knew it. And also, we understood that you wanted to do that after you admitted to Danny that you craved his validation and all of that stuff. You still do. So that's why you still let Vernon run over you like that. And you feel guilty because at the end of the day, like Vernon said, you want to say that you got to where you got to because of your own merits and all that stuff. No, you got to where you got to because of things that Vernon did to help you get into those positions, to get your place, to get your business, to get your reputation. And he's still doing it. Okay, so yeah, you owe him your whole career. You owe him your life at this point, you know, and that's just really what it is. That's just really what it is when it comes to Bill and Vernon. And so, regardless, you're going to act out a little bit, but you still going to do what the hell Vernon said do, okay? Now they upset about the fact that Kenneth is still there. They trying to figure out what the hell they going to do. You know, Joey finds out about it like, ain't this about a bitch? And then they come up with a plan to basically kill that motherfucker. Okay, and I said, oh my God, we're going to do this because that's what should have happened in the first place. You know what? Basically, what we showed is you can't send a boy to do a man's job. Okay? The boy was goddamn Randy. He wasn't old enough. He wasn't grown enough. He wasn't criminalized enough to do what needed to be done with Kenneth. But you want to know who did? Marcellus. Okay? Marcel, he was able to do it. He was able to do what needed to be done. And you know what I say to that? When it comes to that type of crooked cop, I'm alright with it. Because justice was served. But at the same time, was it really? We'll get to that. But hey, here's the thing. It was a little bit easy, but I was okay with it. Now, usually I don't like it when stuff too easy and the problem gets solved so quick like that. But in this case, it was irritating me that they was letting this man just keep on doing all this shit. And we don't even know what the fuck really happened. I said, take that motherfucker out because I'm tired of him. After he crossed the line with the kids, I was like, yeah, he got to go. Get him out. I don't want to see him next season. I don't want to see him next month. Get him the fuck out, okay? We can't keep on going through this. Martin ain't going to last long if we keep on going through this. The man is about to just crumble, okay? He already cry talk as it is at this point, okay? Booty high as hell. I said, oh my God, he can't even stand up straight. He's just so stressed out. It's all in his shoulders. He's just sweating out the goddamn stress. I said, damn it, boy, you want an anxiety pill? I just got one, okay? I feel great now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to do that. Put you on a little bit of Lexapro or something. Okay? Because, you're going through a lot. All right? So you got that going on. And because all this shit didn't happen the way that he thought it was going to happen and they ain't including him in the plans and stuff, Martin said, fuck that. I'm finna go take care of this my own self. Next thing you know, we see him in the booth at the diner or whatever. Hey, yeah. So you put that up together. I said, now who you talking to like this? He talking like he got somebody on the other line that's going to put a hit out on the man to take care of the situation. I said, I know you ain't got people's too. Girl, hell no. He was just setting up a press conference. I said, a press conference? A press conference for what? Oh, because he was finna get up there and he was finna spill his guts. I said, oh my God, so you're going to go right now to tell the people that you did what you did? I said, now what the fuck did you do? Girl, we found out what he did. And basically what it was that night 2 years ago, him and the granddaddy was coming back from a conference or some shit. And it was at night and they took the wrong road out and basically wound up in a sundown town. Okay. And if you don't know what a sundown town, I need y'all to look at the movie Green Book, okay? Look at Lovecraft Country. You know, I know some of us, we kind of laid off of Jonathan Majors, but listen, Lovecraft Country, that series, that one season, which should have been more, that was good, okay? I recommend y'all watch it, regardless. He was really good in it. He really was. He showed his ass in it just in case y'all want to know. See, I can still hype up people, even when they fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, sundown town. Black folks ain't allowed after a certain hour. And truth be told, you really ain't allowed there, period. But, or welcomed, I should say. Welcome. Unless then all the races come out and then they probably do some things to you when the sun go down, okay? Sundown town. Hence the name. And we got a few of them out here in Illinois. I just want y'all to know that, okay? And so basically that's what wound up happening. They had to pull over because they got a flat tire. And so Martin gets out the car to fix the tire. All of a sudden, here come this big ass 4x4 coming through. And it was like, oh my God, F-150, what's happening? And then this ain't got nothing to do with you. This is what I just don't understand about racism. Like, it's a waste of goddamn time and energy. This ain't had nothing to do with you. You just racist in the motherfucker. So you just poured over because you saw a black man trying to change his tire. And so what you tried to do was try to get money out of them, rob them and all that stuff, get some money out of them, be racist to them. And then when they talk back or whatever, even though they was just trying to say, no, we don't need no help or nothing like that. But then you talk about what color is your money and all that shit, basically trying to give me your money or not, that type of situation. And then you pull out guns and crowbars and Martin fucked around and beat both their asses. Ooh, what? You want to know why? Truth be told, because one of them had hit Vernon and knocked his ass over. I said, Vernon, you should have kept your ass in the car. I understand that you was trying to calm the situation down or whatever, because that's your grandson you was out there. You was an old man. You was an old man, okay? But Martin saw that shit and he saw red, okay? Not red as they neck. Listen. He saw it, bitch. I said, Martin, a little taekwondo up in this bitch. You a black belt or something? Martin said, I said, all right. You know, I was sitting there like, get him, get him, get him. And he took that crowbar, bam, bam. I said, oh, you killed that nigga. It did. Next thing you know, he was on the other one. Bing, 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 bing. That's when Vernon had to come over and say, son, stop. I said, oh, shit, what happened? What happened? So the one that he hit with the crowbar, oh, he killed that motherfucker. I said, oopsie. Oh, well, this self-defense. He pulled a gun out and he had a crowbar on him. So there's that. And then the other one, which was Kenneth, because mind you, when he pulled him over, when y'all see the flashback, it's a different guy that don't look nothing like the character that played Kenneth, the actor that played Kenneth. That's because they're trying to show us that Martin fucked up his face so bad, he basically beat him unrecognizable to the point that, you know, he was unconscious for a while, unconscious enough to get him to Ted's place of service so that Ted could do the surgery and do reconstructive surgery on his face, and therefore he came out looking like Kenneth. I love it when black folks are in high positions, and I love it when y'all get us on these goddamn TV shows and the shit don't make sense. It's so convenient. I said, what in the world is happening? I said, oh, it just so happened that your daddy is a plastic surgeon and he could just fix that man's face and y'all can get that man some goddamn money to go out of the town. Not out of town, but out of the country and never come back again. You know what? Honestly, you should have suspected something else could have happened. Okay? You can't do that to people who are racist to their core like that. They're gonna blackmail you. And that's exactly what fucking happened. Alright? And then you had Bill take care of stuff. You had Malone and Jacob Daddy come through and help with the situation and all that stuff too. And so it's just like, you was really finna get up there and you was finna tell all of this, Martin. Bill came down there to that damn press conference and tried to stall, and then to stall. Mind you, Vernon said, baby, we do not hurt people. We do not do violence like that, okay? We don't kill. We don't do none of that stuff. That's what he was trying to tell Bill. Bill said that's cute or whatever, and he still had what's his name? I literally just, Morales. Still had him, Marcel. Still had him take out old boy. Put his ass in the goddamn park. Blurger. And of course Jacob Daddy was the one that took care of it or whatever, you know, the report and all that stuff. And so at this point, Bill had showed a picture of Kenneth dead, and they tried to make it seem like it was a robbery or some shit, robbery, homicide. And he was in the midst of talking right before he was about to put out there what he did. He saw that, you know, Martin can't keep his composure for nothing. God damn it. I said, damn, no. Calm it down. His face. I said, oh my God, you're in front of the people, okay? Just, can you make it less obvious that something is going on? That's why Bill had to say, you know what? We're going to have to cancel this press conference because of a family emergency. And see, this is where they fucked up too for me. Because how is it that you talk about some family emergency and y'all still going to stand there in the restaurant and just keep on talking and chilling like ain't nothing going on? So I ain't blaming the other two reporters that was like, yeah, they called it off all of a sudden, but Chad, you're still standing here like, I'm pretty sure something else is going on. What the fuck? And I said, yeah, good observation, because baby, family emergency, you mean to tell me y'all couldn't just work? Y'all should have at least scattered out the restaurant and went and got into the cars and then reconvened at somebody's house. You know what I'm saying? Or at Bill's office, you know, and then talked about the whole thing. Now, see, this is where Martin pisses me off, all right? Jacob do this shit too, okay? And this is why I can't stand Jacob as well. Martin and Jacob are the two that I really just be like, girl, leave me alone. Y'all are so damn annoying. Martin, he was about to get away with this, okay? He died. Somebody took him out. He was a bad guy. Do we give a damn who did it? Absolutely not. He was threatening your kids. He was coming into your home. He was all of these things, you know, your life. And you up here talking about some, oh my God, so the threat is over. Yeah. And then he said, well, wait a minute. So he just so happened to die? And I just so happened to get this news right when I was about to spill my guts to the people? Ain't that so convenient? So what you trying to tell me? You had something to do with it? I said, leave it alone, Martin. And that's the thing. Martin don't know how to leave shit alone. Jacob don't know how to leave shit alone. I'm like, damn, Martin, let it ride, bitch. You almost could have had a good night's sleep tonight. Okay? You still ain't. You still ain't gonna be sleeping, okay? Because now you know that Bill and them had that shit set up to take that man out, okay? And so now you're getting in your feelings about that. Vernon pissed off about it because Vernon didn't want that to happen either. And he ain't know it was gonna happen. And so, you know, you feeling so like, wait, okay, fine. They finally leave. Smitty did find out about the press conference, so now he pissed off too. And at this point in time, when he found out about that press conference, and then he found out about the boy, old dude who got killed because they did meet up. And he didn't get what he needed to get out of him, but he just told him, tell your mans he late on his payment, and I want my motherfucking money. And so at that moment in time, he knew that it was a little bit deeper and something else was going on. Because it's not adding up that you're scared of this dirty cop. No, you're not scared of this dirty cop. You into this dirty cop is helping you because you got this dirty cop being on detail to protect your home and your family and all this stuff. But this other guy is saying that you owe him money and all this other stuff. At this point, Smitty was over. Smitty came home and packed up his bags. I said, Smitty, where you going? He said, I ain't going nowhere. You're going somewhere. I said, I know that's the fuck right, Smitty. Smitty said, I ain't do the shit, so I'm not leaving. Martin's gonna leave. I said, oh, Smitty. Snitters. Smith. What? That is nice. I said, yes, I like that. You know, you got to stand your ground sometimes. You just got to put your foot down. I don't like that. Stand your ground. That sounds, because y'all already know. But anyway, you got to put your foot down. I like that better. You can't let that man keep on walking all over you by not seeing what the fuck is going on. And he just got rolling around like a chicken with his head cut off. No, you can't keep doing that. And the kid's like, oh my God, what are you doing, Dad? You can't do that, Dad. I said, well, Daddy ain't being truthful. Okay, so that's just really what the fuck it is. So you need to stay out of grown folks' business at this point. And so, you know, he finally gets home and he sees it. He was like, babe, you know, so this makes him finally come on ahead and say what happened. And I was like, okay. Now, at this point, Smitty was like understanding, like, oh my God, so it wasn't your fault. So, you know, it's okay. It's okay. And at this point, Smitty was very understanding, you know, up until, and he was about to let him come back and stay. He was like, you know what, maybe I rushed to judgment because you did tell me this shit, but you didn't need to hide that from me. And he was like, yeah. And when he told him that old boy came back and he'd been back around trying to blackmail him and all this stuff and the money and everything, whatever, Smitty said, now, whoa, hold on. So, babe, I understood why you hid that from me about the murder and all that stuff, okay? That was self-defense, but I get it. And I understand now why he was having the night terrors. But you mean to tell me that the man came back and he been back for a minute, he been trying to get at you and all this stuff, whatever, putting the family in danger for the past few weeks and so, whatever, and you knew about it and you still didn't bother to tell me, even when I was asking you what the fuck is going on? Smitty went off. And Smitty said, get your shit going, okay? Now, the kids, I'm going to need Samantha to shut the fuck up, okay? Because at the end of the day, if you was in a relationship like that, and granted she's young, this is a learning lesson. You don't let nobody just do any and everything and walk over you like that. Actions have consequences. It had took Terrell to tell her, bitch, do you see what the fuck he was doing, okay? Let them figure that shit out. Now, when Jacob came over there to the house and trying to figure out how come all of a sudden a press conference was called and then it was called off, and, you know, just so happened when his press conference was called off was when a body showed up or whatever. How come you ain't tell me about it? What's the connection? I'm sitting here like, okay, now, you doing a lot, Jacob. Your daddy said, leave that shit alone. And this is where Jacob be pissing me the fuck out. Like, leave it the fuck alone, bitch. I know you want to be good police or whatever, but damn, be good police by doing your own case and get your nose out of other people's cases, okay? And if your daddy say, stop it, okay? Because obviously he trying to save your ass. He don't want to, he trying to save your ass, save your heart, and all of that stuff. Because once you find out the truth, you're going to be pissed off at your dad. All right, because you're gonna realize, oh, my daddy got a whole bunch of shit to do with this, okay? And I thought he didn't. I thought it was just Malone, and it's not, okay? And so he come over there talking to Smitty and basically trying to get him to tell him what's going on and all this shit. I said, you can't tell that man what to tell you. What? He ain't no suspect. I said, get the fuck out of here, Jacob. And who winds up hearing all this shit about the bank account, about this and about that, the money? Girl, Samantha was coming down the steps and she heard the shit. I said, God damn it, just a little bit. And then she go upstairs to tell Terrell, remember when you said that it's a possibility that they're probably not telling us everything? I think you're right. Yeah, because you don't need to know right now. Not at this moment, okay? Stay in a child's fucking place. Meanwhile, Martin goes over there to Anita and Vernon. Anita just got back home, and she got back home to some bullshit. Now, Vernon had to tell her what the fuck happened, and she was like, oh my God, why the fuck would y'all do that? And so now it's just a shit show. Now they got to tell Nicole what the hell is happening. Girl, they come in. Nicole came into the house at the tail end of the conversation. She was like, tell me what? You don't think I can handle what? Girl, they wound up telling Nicole, and Nicole snapped the fuck off on her mama. Okay? Now, let me tell you something. At one point, Nicole said something that she was getting up, and she kind of got up like that, and y'all saw Anita go like this. I said, I had to rewind. I said, bitch, was you about to push her? No, she was just about to get up. Anita was on edge, too. I was like, oh, there's some good acting right here, because Anita, mama thought she was about to hit her ass, and I said, I know the fuck you not. She said, no, I'm just standing up. I said, oh, but Nicole went off. Nicole went off because at the end of the day, that's her baby. And everybody seems to know what's going on, and she's worrying about her child up here having these nightmares, up here being stressed out, going through all of this stuff. His whole marriage is fucking up. You know, he not at home with his husband because his husband kicked his ass out, and he can't come to the mom and tell her what's going on because he can't speak about it because Vernon and Anita told them to shut the fuck up. And so that's really why she pissed off. It's not at Martin. It's because of they told him to shut up. They told him don't say nothing, don't bring her into it. And then even if he wanted to bring her into it a little bit, you got the daddy cheated on her, okay? Having an outside kid, a bastard kid. I hate that word, but that's just really what it was, okay? Having a kid on the outside, and you dealing with that, and then trying to choke the bitch out that had the baby, Leslie, her ass, that little psychotic girl. Then finding out that your nephew fucking around with your sister, your old ass sister, okay? Girl, oh my God. Nicole is just going through it. I feel so bad. She just feel like everybody is just lying to her. Oh. And then to find out that your husband was the one that did the reconstructive surgery on the man's face. Jesus Christ. Because at the end of the day, I'm with Nicole. Like, damn, bitch, all y'all had to do was tell the truth. It was so fucking defense. People would have believed that. You're a fucking senator. Granted, you a beloved senator, a civil rights activist, but you got into a sundown town. These men approached you and they attacked you. It was self-fucking defense. I get it. You probably would have got a little bit of something, but baby, it wouldn't have been through all this. Now you think it's over because old boy is dead, but now everybody, they mama know in the house. But at the same time, you still got to worry about keeping on the up and up because Joey Armstrong is a part of this shit. And you know he don't do shit for free. You know, Bill can, whenever he want to get on his little shit, he could possibly want to burn the stuff down and say some stuff. Malone could probably want to do something if he get caught up in stuff. So it's just, and then you got Jacob, bitch. Okay? Oh, they not in the clear. He is still going to be stressed the fuck out. I just said, oh my God, this is just so like, oh. And then Anita trying to say, and I was doing this to protect the family and, you know, because with the priest and all this stuff. And I was so glad No shade, because I understand what they be saying and how you trying to stand up for the people in your family. But when Nicole said, all this family shouted, whatever, you talk like we a mafia family or something, like gangsters or whatever. The head of the gangster family. I said thank you, because that's literally how Dupree and Anita and Vernon be talking. Truth be told, I like it though, but you know, sometimes you gotta call a spade, bitch. And that spade was called, okay? Nicole is pissed the fuck off, and I'm pretty sure next week on that preview, she about to tell Ted she want a divorce. I said, damn it, it's inevitable at this point. It's too much hurt that she can't get over right now. Granted, all of this stuff just happened, but we don't really know the specific timeline. But at the same time, it just seems like it just keeps piling up, and it's not even giving her a chance to even begin to start to even think about wanting to forgive Ted and give him another chance or whatever. Oh no, I feel like they're gonna get a divorce. Wow. This week was riveting, and then on top of that, let's get into the lesbians. The lesbians. Allison is crazy. Allison, baby, Joni Mitchell will never lie. You don't miss what you got till it's gone. Story always seems to go. That you don't miss what you got till it's gone. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, bitch, that ain't my problem no more, okay? You see I'm here with my girl. No, it don't matter. We met 2 weeks ago, but that's my bae. It ain't you. I gave you a chance. And then you popping up the second time, and they're going to have the nerves to say, why would you think I'm up here trying to follow you around? I just so happen to come to one of the best restaurants in the city. I said, you a goddamn best restaurant in the city ass lie. You sitting over there in that corner looking dead at me with your eyes like this. Okay, and I said, girl, listen, I think Chelsea got two various versions of psychoticness on her hand. Because something about something about Madison still ain't sitting a little bit right with me. Just a little bit. But Madison looked like she was about to fight Allison. When Allison came up there to that table the second time, and she put that hairpiece or whatever the fuck it was on that table, she said, "This is what you left the last time when we had the room rocking, bitch." I said, you know what? Allison is funny for that. Allison, it should have been, you should have came back and said, "These your drawers, bitch." That's what it would have been. Your thong, no, bitch, you could have kept that. Okay, because then Madison at that point, that's when you really should have got up and whooped her ass if she would have did some shit like that. Okay, because now you playing games. You playing fucking games, okay? And then you're going to put it on the table and then going to take it back. I said, oh my God, Allison, you got to go somewhere, okay? You got to go. You are crazy. Chelsea, you died. Well, I can't even say you dodged it because the girl finna be popping up. Them girl in their eyes is going to be popping up. They be big too. They be looking. Girl, oh my God. This week was good. Girl. I was at work like, man, I was in the midst of looking at Peacock got a 6-part series, 6-episode series, docu-series on about John Wayne Gacy. Listen, I know all about John Wayne Gacy and all this shit. I look at just about every documentary there is about any and everything, right? And that's one of the ones that I look at because it happened out here in Illinois. It happened out here in Chicago, bitch. Damn motherfucker. I was in the midst of looking at that. I think I was probably on episode 4. And I said, you know what? Fuck this. Let me put this on pause and let me get to my goddamn show. And I had to watch it for the rest of the day. I said, I know that's right. Y'all did good beyond the gates. You guys tell me how y'all felt about it. Now I gotta go watch the shot. Y'all tell me how y'all felt about this week. Looking forward to next week. Oh, finally got the weekend off. Y'all, I finally got a weekend off. It's been over 2 months since I had a goddamn weekend. A full weekend. Y'all don't understand. But enjoy it. Please be safe. And I will see y'all later. Peace.